Hey there, my friend. Perry Tinsley here. So you want to become your healthiest best self and you want to get to moving your body. And all you got to do is motivate yourself to do it, right? So I've got you. I've got some proven ways to totally get motivated so that you can get that workout going and start eating healthier and living that great, happy, fulfilling life. And I just want to take the time before we jump into that is to thank you so much for jumping on another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, providing you rapid results in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge your battery. And I'm talking about your mental and physical battery and reclaim your power. But before we really get deep into this stuff, I just want to remind you to go to talktoperry.com. I made my calendar wide open for podcast viewers like you. And it's all about keeping that energy high so that you can reach all of your goals. And I want to help you recharge your mental and physical battery so that you can reclaim your power. We do that in 15 minutes. That's at talktoperry.com. So you're looking to make exercise part of your health ritual, but maybe you're struggling to make fitness part of your daily routine. So here's the thing, and I find this happens to several clients of mine, myself included. You get on a roll. You're developing a great fitness streak for a few weeks, and then bam, something comes up. It's raining. You're a bit overwhelmed from work. You just think you'd rather stay in bed for a lot more often, or at least sounds more appealing. Maybe it's cold weather. As I'm recording this, the cold weather's starting to set in, and you find yourself looking for comfort and ease. And this is the time when you really need to be mindful and intentional with your actions. And I know it's really easy to just go toward the comfort side, but knowing where you want to go, what you desire, and being persistent enough to persist and push toward that goal of yours. I mean, if you really honestly and truly, that's what you desire, because when it comes to your health and fitness, you just can't wing it and leave it up to chance. I know I've tried several times to I just hope it sticks. I just hope, you know what? When you're intentional, you take action, that's when things will click for you. It requires discipline, and you need to put yourself first to make it happen. A lot of times people are just trying to squeeze things in and figure it out as we go along. And while imperfect action, I think, is better than perfect inaction, here's some strategies to boost your workout motivation. One, and this worked for me when I first started out, it was to create a contract with myself and make it public. You know, I'm going to assume that because you're tuning into this podcast, you're a person of your word. And when you make it public and a declaration and you put a date on it, we tend to stick to our commitments. It's not just some sort of swimming up in our brain sort of goal that we hopefully will reach someday. You know, we've drawn a line in the sand and we stuck our flagpole in there and said, I'm going for it. I don't know what the flagpole has to do with it, but it just sounded good to me. And if you want to make it more interesting, make a contract with yourself where you'll donate some money to a cause that you really don't care about, that you're not a fan of. If you start skipping workouts, maybe it's $20 every time you skip a workout. Ooh, that would really up the ante one. But you don't have to go to that extreme. You could have something like, I'm going to commit to 30 minutes of workout 5 days a week for the next 12 weeks. And you can add a consequence in there if you don't keep your word. Sometimes that will help you just step up into that. But even create an incentive to do it. So that's one way, a contract with yourself. Another one is to figure out those obstacles and those limiting beliefs. When you can see the things that you got to navigate around, it makes it easier to reach your goals and figure it out. So it's listing each barrier that you have to exercise. And I encourage you to write these down. No barrier too big or small, none of them off limits, but it's breaking each one down. Once you get them down into the tiniest details, let's say you say, I'm too busy to exercise. What are you busy doing? Getting that down and really being honest with yourself. And once you get that huge list down, it's figuring out what things can you eliminate right away. Like, oh my gosh, I can manipulate this. I've been telling myself this story, but it's not that big of a deal. And I can delegate that. I can eliminate it, I can postpone it. Once they're out of the way, that becomes super empowering for you. And another empowering one is to remove the limiting beliefs. Those are the stories we tell ourselves. We're always doing this talking to ourselves, and we're living up to these stories, and they're dancing around our brains, and they prevent us from reaching our goals. I'm a terrible cook. I'm so klutzy. I'm always heavy. There's no way I can stick to a fitness plan. I've always failed before, over and over. And a lot of times we try to get into that and do that. Tony Robbins had a great way he said, just pick 2 of your top beliefs that you are, those stories that you're telling yourself, and just ask yourself, how ridiculous and absurd is this? Who did I learn this from? And what costs? What is this costing me emotionally, physically, in my relationships, my career, if I continue to think that way? And when you start looking at some of those things, you're like, oh, they really aren't as big. I've been kind of living up to that story. I can create a new story. I mean, that's a super energy boost. And it's all about living up to that energy, right? Another one is finding a great fitness community. That one, when I first started, I was kind of like, oh, I really don't want to, I don't want to open up to anybody. I don't need the support. I can do this all on my own. Just leave me alone. But when I started becoming a part of a community, so many times that's where I stepped up into my action a lot more. I stayed committed a lot more. I felt a lot more motivated. People who are that are on a same mission as me, they're inspiring, they're uplifting, they're supportive, they're strong. Man, that is priceless stuff. You make bonds with people. Priceless. Surrounding yourself with people that build your confidence up as much as the strength you are creating when you're doing your exercise. As a matter of fact, I'm running a group right now. You're welcome to join and be a part of it. I run a group every month. Just head over to putyourselffirst.com/getresults. You can find all the little form. Just fill that out to me, and I'll help you out. Another couple ideas that I think sometimes they don't get as much credit as they probably should. Music can totally be motivated, especially if you just crank up the tunes that can pump you up for your workouts. Varying your workouts. Sometimes we get into this routine where we're kind of plateauing with our workouts, trying something totally new. If you travel, take a resistance band with you. Use a streaming service. I'll pop my favorite ones into the show notes. Having your workout gear ready for when you wake up to hit your workout in the morning, or when you come home from work to get your workout done right away. And inspire yourself with motivational stories out there. You've probably seen where people have transformed their lives. And I'm not saying just the before and after picture, but their lives have been impacted into things because they took action on their goals and they continued. It's constant action. That's going to bring about your motivation. Action before motivation, not the other way around. The more consistent you are, the better results and the more fun. And just know, you can choose to use your power, take control, or you could let the excuses, the justifications, the limiting beliefs, the alibis control you and drain your power. It's deciding and committing to yourself and your goals and choosing to figure out new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing and moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love for you to share your top takeaways down in the comments. I do respond to those right down there. And just know you absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear. What's going on? I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to UpsideDownFit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.